Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to another episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. My name is Max. I'm the CEO of Because Bitcoin, joined by Unbothered Jackus and Louie, two of our top analysts here at BB. Yep, that's what bears are going to be looking like here very soon. They're going to wake up one day this week to just like a plethora of liquidation emails, and they're going to look like that. But anyways, guys, the title of today's show is It's Almost Time for the Bitcoin Pump. It's only been 8 months of this, and we are getting to the end of the wire. Monday today. I hope everybody had a great weekend. And I always say this because I mean it. You can't trust a Monday pump or a Monday dump. Usually these Monday moves, either up or down, are used as a way to manipulate market participants in one way or another. So I'll tell you, I'm a bit encouraged to see a little early week price action to the downside, and hopefully we could fill in some of these inefficiencies from the pump last week, get it over with right away, and then send it higher. Perhaps the last dip. But anyways, Louie and Jackus, welcome, guys. Happy I could be here today. Tommy wasn't able to make it, so I'm filling in for him. Usually I'm on later in the week. But what's up, guys? Maybe we'll start with Louie. Louie, you look laser focused, man. What are you looking at? What are you seeing out there? And more importantly, how are you? How was your weekend?
Thanks, Max. Glad to be here. Happy Monday, everybody. I'm just looking at top 10 on CoinGecko. I'm doing a CoinGecko glance over this morning. Different from the charts, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I really liked what we saw over the weekend. I was discussing this morning on Discord chat on the morning call. But we saw Bitcoin basically range, over the weekend, and we saw some altcoins starting to get some liquidity pumped into them, seeing some different alts popping off left and right, which is healthy. Is a nice healthy liquidity flow for a crypto bull market, in my opinion, where you see Bitcoin pump, then starts to stall out, either pulls back or consolidates, and then you see that liquidity flow from Bitcoin into the altcoin market, and watch those rally while Bitcoin kind of hangs out and consolidates. And that's basically native to bull market price action as far as Bitcoin and crypto goes. So I said on Friday, I was like, I wanted to see something like that transpire over the weekend. That's exactly what we got. So I'm loving that. I'm loving that price action we're seeing. Obviously today, we're seeing some pullbacks, which is warranted, right? We've had a massive run off the lows. We closed a great weekly breakout for Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, we've had a nice run. So, pullbacks are going to happen, right? So, that's what we're seeing today. Obviously, we're going to go over those levels later today in the stream to see, where we should expect to find support and continue our uptrend. But pullbacks are part of this game, and you should, welcome them rather than run away from them. In my opinion, I think pullbacks are for buying.
Yeah, well, if we are about to enter the long awaited Uptober, you definitely want to take advantage of some of these early week shakeouts as they come about, right? And just looking at the chart here, I mean, you really have such a clean setup across the board. And we always do this, but I think it's so important to just kind of remind people, all right? For one, all of this price action now is below the October monthly open. This black line is. So as far as I'm concerned, like this was a giant bear trap. Okay. And this giant bear trap is now mega demand. All right. Actually, I do mega demand so much, I'm going to save it as a template. Mega demand. Okay. This is now officially being saved as a template. We're going to call this mega demand because I'm going to draw a lot of mega demands today. Okay. So now all of this price action below the October monthly open is mega demand. If, God forbid, we did come back down there, right? I would expect this to hold. I don't really think we're going to retest the open. I really kind of think that we're going to be in for like this inefficiency right in here, um, like this region, somewhere in here. There's a nice little daily FEG right here. I think we could probably retest this area, worst case. But the thing to note here is we're in a structured uptrend now. Like this is your low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Monday Jeet, it's over. Pack it up. We're screwed. Bears are right. New lows incoming. Volatility soon. Not out of the woods yet. The list goes on forever. By the way, I'm getting some background noise from one of you guys. I don't know who it is.
I think that's Jackus.
That's Jack.
That's probably me. I'll cut it out.
He's watching football in the background. I already know. Some European sport. I don't even know what it is. But anyways, we're in this structured uptrend, guys. So really anything above the October monthly open is fine in my book. It really is. And then you're gonna really ultimately you kind of have your final boss right up in here. And I can kind of draw another. I could extend this a little bit because I think that, you might catch a little bit of a sticky spot kind of right before that, but this is your region, right? This is your region right up in here. But we're in a structured uptrend right now. So I don't think it makes sense to assume that you're going to somehow lose the October open and then start breaking down, from something like this. Not at this point. I mean, it's a Monday. We had a big move up last week. And I could see us just kind of coming into this region and then, moving up later in the week. That's not a problem at all. That's not a problem at all. So, I mean, the setup is really clean. And, I would say maybe like worst case would just be taking out this low or something like that. But I don't know. We'll see where it stops and where it turns around. I'm really not too concerned about anything right here because, even removing, we'll come back to these. Even just looking at it in a really, really simple fashion, right? Like this is such a big level for Bitcoin right here. And excluding this little deviation that we had, I would consider this was just like a straight up trap, right?
Yeah.
Excluding this deviation, once we kind of lost it, this level suppressed price for quite some time. We were below it basically all the way from like middle of June, basically all the way until now, like October. So we had like 2 weeks in June, July, August, September, half of October. I mean, 3-4 months we were below this level and we're finally above it. So I would now expect, at a minimum, this region 65 and a half ish to hold. I would think, it really would make a lot of sense. So structurally, I think it looks good. You've got some demand below, which is nice. Let me draw a volume profile from here. Let's just see. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, I mean, it looks solid, right? Like imagine if this is all you get too. Like imagine if you don't even like come down too low here and like this is all that you retest is just this level right here. You could locally take out, getting a ton of noise from somebody again. Somebody's making noise. Imagine you just take out this low right here, just this little local pivot at like 66.9, and you just move up again. And additionally, within this structure, you've got a nice little order block right here. This could be it, right? You might not even need to go deeper than this. So I just think it's a Monday, little sell-off, probably setting the weekly low. Things look pretty good in my view. A lot of support beneath us, it's a good place to be. It's a really good place to be.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree. Now you have that local high that you talked about testing, like around 66K. That's that's your obvious area of possible support, and you could simply just retest it, flip it into support, and then go right. maybe, depending on how we, end today, go into tomorrow, we could see maybe a little deeper pullback. We do have some more liquidity um, below that 66 level. But base case, flip that level into support, whether we come down below it for a brief moment, get back above, reclaim it, and then continue. But regardless, the end move is higher, in my opinion, and these moves and these pullbacks should be for buying if you're looking for entries, not for panic selling. That's for damn sure. Um,
Who's out there looking for panic selling? Is somebody looking for panic selling? They just can't
I
wait to
see it.
panic sell.
I see it every day. They're just waiting for a reason to G their whole bag. People still got some. They're still scared of the monster in the closet from this 6-month consolidation we've had. People have that PTSD where, like, if you just look at this chart, every time we came up, we went right back down with gusto. um, so that scary monster in the closet is going to come out and take all your gains from you. People still have that. That I'm still seeing it. You can see it on chain too. See, people still have that quick trigger finger to just take money back off the table because they're scared of that. Um, that 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 move back down all the way down to range lows, which where I think we're exiting this ranging environment and starting a trending environment. I mean, just looking at those low, that low you have in middle of September, you made a higher low, in October, and now we're probably going to print our third or fourth higher low here on this pullback. Like this is starting to become an established trend where you could find comfort is now we are riding the trend higher. Before the trend was down, right? So every time we shot up, we came right back down, right? So, but now we're in an uptrend, so things are flipping. So every time we go up and we get that pullback to the downside, that should be you have the trend behind you where you should expect that trend to continue. And a lot of people, it seems as if they're still trying to trade like in a raging environment. Obviously taking a short last night was a good move, right? And that was a level I was eyeing out as well. Basically, front ran that high to your left, filled with internal liquidity, and now we're rolling over. But we still didn't run that high. I think we still have a lot of liquidity right above us, just sitting there waiting to get taken. So I think this trend continues as usual here. And we're just, this is probably one of the final pullbacks before we get that explosion to the upside that you're talking about, Max.
Yeah, and there's just so much support below us right here. It really
Yeah.
couldn't look much better.
Yeah.
And I know we have a little bit of work to do, but this is such a constructive. This whole region right here is so constructive in my view. Like this
Yeah.
whole region is just bulls putting in work, right? Bulls just putting in work. And I say this all the time because I truly believe it. I think that the Bears got really, really greedy down in here. They got really, really greedy. We had huge sell volume into these 3 capitulation lows right here. 1, 2, 3. And for basically all of Q3, you could have bought Bitcoin or altcoins when Bitcoin was sub 55K, which is basically just below this region right here. You could have bought Bitcoin anywhere down in here. You could have bought alts anywhere down in here. Mega demand. See, we're saving it now. You could have bought it and you wanted just lower. You said, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it when we retest this little node down here. And this was a very obvious inefficiency right in here, like really, really thin move. Completely filled that in. Huge sell volume into these lows. And I feel like they just got greedy. Like they just wanted this level. They got it. Now lower. Now lower. And no, it's not enough. It's not enough. Greed works both ways. It really does. Greed works both ways. And I feel like the Bears, they asked for too much or they kept moving the goalpost a little bit too much. And Bulls can do it too, right? Like we're going to enter a regime where we'll go to, Bulls will be like, I want 190K. And then we'll go to 190K. And then they'll be like, oh no, I want 210, I want 210, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm just throwing numbers out, but you know what I mean. It works both ways. So we are getting very close to exiting this range. Let's put it that way. We have a really constructive kind of layered support beneath us. We're pressing up against the final boss, our final diagonal lines, which I have, our range, our 7-month, 8-month value area high, and then final little supply region. So I don't know. Jackus, what do you think about all this?
I think that this is very valid point, especially as moving the targets, right? Like there is lots of people right now calling for like 90K, 120K. Doesn't really matter the number. And there is lots of people be like, no, this will never happen because these people are calling it, therefore 40K, which I think is just total bullshit, because like try trading based on your eco bubble sentiment. I know you are wrecked the moment you are saying it, and I mean we can make entertainment around it, of course, and there's a different side to what people present on social media versus what they actually do, right? Like I know that because unfortunately the incentive structure is not the best on social media, including YouTube, which by the way, guys, press the like button. And but yeah, we can totally go to 120K, and then what you said will happen. The people will just keep raising, and like seriously 120K, and everyone's like, that's so unrealistic. Like what are we talking about? We are at 70K basically, and 120K cannot happen. Like that's not even 100%. What are we talking about? Like come on, man.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that can totally happen. It can happen way higher. And anyone that is trying to like the most ridiculous thing I find right now is like people calling for 75K and then it's over, right?
Yeah.
That to me is to some degree stupidity, just like 40K, because if you were to go to 40K from here, you are entering a bear market and it's going to last for a very long time, which by the way cannot happen. Like I feel people are just, like some people may be good traders, but they don't understand like the all around stuff. They don't understand mining costs, which we are by the way trading below right now. Study how it's over on gold, the same, right? Like Bitcoin in a sense is a commodity. So there's lots of and by the way, sorry, I'm jumping a little bit, but what I was going to say is that the thing with the upside is it doesn't matter if people call for like 120K, 150K, 90K, doesn't matter. The moment we reach that is everyone is going to raise their targets, and then we might even hit those again, and the people will raise those targets again and again until we reach really overheated areas, which they raised the levels again because it worked in the past, and then we turn around, and then everyone, like every bull becomes what bears are doing right now. Bears wanted a 20K dip, then it became we're going to go to 30K, then it was we're going to go to 40K, and now they are praying we're going to bounce to 50K, right? And this is going to be the same for bulls in the future, where we will go to 400, for example. I just like made it up right now, but we're going to use it for illustration. So we'll go there, then the price drops and everyone will be like, yeah, we still going to 500, and then it doesn't go there, it drops, and then everyone's going to be like, all right, 350, 300, and they'll keep lowering it and praying it goes there, which it doesn't until they sell. So this psychological effect works both ways. And what people want to do right now is really focus on the facts, which is we spent the past 8 months ranging here around prior cycle all-time highs reaccumulating. We've created so much energy that the moment we are breaking from here, it's not going to be for like a little sweep and then it's to neither side. You are breaking from here and you are establishing a new trend. And by the way, the trend is likely to be to the upside, given like the probability is so immense there. All right, I've been studying the silver to Bitcoin correlation for a long time. Silver is currently breaking out. It's going for a multi-year bull market. Quite obviously, the same thing can happen for BTC easily. So I do not know what the target for Bitcoin is actually. Like, I'm not gonna be like, everyone is like, want to make the headlines. Bitcoin top is $75.364. That's where the top is, right? Then there are people like, yeah, it's going to millions. Everyone wants to make headlines. The reality is nobody knows. We have some probabilities based on FIP extensions, round numbers, prior cycles, and so forth. When in reality, nobody can truly like tell. And we just play the probabilities. And you essentially just want to stay bullish as long the market is, which has always been my goal. We can get locally bearish, which we got again before the August drop, and on a few occasions on lower time frames as well. But essentially, we just play the trend, and the trend is quite clearly bullish. So I feel lots of people, because of how social media works, are trying to be smart asses, and it's either going to backfire or they'll just play it on both sides as they usually do, right? Like they have hedge tweets on both sides, which they then say like, yeah, but here I was bearish, here I was bullish, even though they told you this entire time. So yeah, that's kind of my take. I think things are looking good, and they can stay looking good for a longer time. Then lots of people can remain rational. And by the way, last thing, guys, people did not study the dot-com bubble enough. There were so many great, one of the best investors, portfolio managers of all times, like real people that make real money, right? Not these social media clowns who pretend. Lots of them sold too early. Some even liquidated their funds trying to short that rally, and they did not expect it to go as high as it did. One of those, Stanley Druckenmiller, one of the best producing portfolio managers in history as well. So, this is totally normal, and yeah, stay bullish here. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to play the smart guy, who knows everything, how everything's corrupted and in the charts. Yeah, lots of things are in the charts, lots of it, but essentially we just play all the probabilities.
Yeah, and the thing about the NASDAQ bubble is it's like you just see this speculative frenzy that it's like you get some big drops in between it, right? But it lasts for years, and you get some. I mean, think about this, right? If you were trading stocks at this time, I mean, you could have looked at this and been like, "Oh no, like it looks like it's it looks like it's over. Look at that. Oh no." And then you just keep ripping, right? Like you really need to be aware of what's driving this market. And right now, it's certain I don't know if it's going to be the dot-com bubble kind of thing again, but what I do recognize is that like we are in price discovery, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my view to just get bearish unless you see a real high time frame shift of market structure. Like for me, you'd have to see stocks like well below this level. Like you'd have to see the NASDAQ come down into here, and then it would bounce up, and then it'd probably be over, right? But this is just so premature in my view. And if we're looking at some pairs like Bitcoin, NASDAQ, this to me looks like a bullish chart still. This looks like it's about to break out any day now. This is Bitcoin, NASDAQ.
I like that.
Look at that little rejection. So maybe
it's not going to break on the first shot.
Maybe you come down into here, But
by the way, guys, I do not remember a cycle where everyone is so obsessed with trying to call the top. Never I've seen that.
It's an ego thing, in my opinion. It's definitely I'm smarter than everybody else. And I think so because everyone else thinks price is going to go up, and I'm going to be the one to call that Pico top, to be that, that popular new guy on the scene who called the top, stuff like The Big Short and all that, really has flipped people into thinking that like they just got to call the top and they're going to be famous and make all this money over a short period of time. And I think it's really screwed over a lot of people.
I also think it's really the social media algorithm because, and I start to blame more and more retardness because of it, because it forces you to be toxic, it forces you to be hateful and to be extremist on either side. So you need to be like extreme bull or extreme bear. And if you try to stay rational, it doesn't really reward you for that. It only rewards you like it doesn't matter if you are wrong, right? If you are just like perma bear, and you call for 40Ks here or even lower, it brings so much engagement. And by the way, that's also how Peter Schiff has grown so much, right? Like I bet he owns lots of Bitcoin probably like through some
He's a
vehicles.
troll.
Obviously, it cannot be, but how much attention it brought to him and his followings grew so much. It just forces everyone to behave this way. And even people that are rational when it comes to their predictions, they are at least toxic to lots of trolls. So you still like, it just forces people behave this way. And the funny thing also is that whenever you meet someone online from social media, it's like he's like total hater out there, and then you meet him real life and he's like saint. He's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it that bad, like that way, and so forth. It's like, what is going on here, man? I blame the social media algorithm to a big degree.
You really think Peter Schiff owns Bitcoin? Not that it matters, but
I do.
Listen, his son owns it. So if he just wants more, he can give his son money and tell him to buy it, right? It's not that hard for him.
yeah, that's
And
true.
I do think he owns it.
I think he's 100% he's just a troll. He's just trolling. But I always kind of had that feeling. At first, I was like, this guy's just like, he's an idiot, right? Like, there's no way, like, he actually thinks this. And then, like, you listen to more of his stuff, and it's like, no, this guy isn't an idiot. Like, he knows what he's doing, as far as, economics and gold and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think he's definitely just been, and it's funny because every post he does kind of marks a local bottom too, as well. So, like, I feel like that's his way of, like, I don't know. There's definitely something brewing there, but yeah, I totally think he's definitely invested for sure and just does it for clicks.
I think it's just good for his
Yeah,
business because he
and
just FUDs
it's
Bitcoin and then he sells gold. That's his business, right?
I think that's
totally. But as someone pointed out in the comments, his company accepts Bitcoin, by the way. So he definitely
Really?
owns it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And obviously, like he's going to say on social media, like, yeah, we accept it, but then we sell it for gold, right? Or some shit like that. But we know
Yeah.
how it goes. I think the retardedness go like it doesn't have to be crypto, right? Like look at how people behave, when it comes to politics or so forth. They just or they are trying to be woke, to some degree, just to bring the attention, because nobody cares about their business, and then they do something woke. People talk negatively about them, obviously because of it, but it brings the attention to them, and negative attention is good attention for lots of people, lots of companies. So it's definitely better than no attention, right? So yeah.
I just can't help but look at this chart. This is one of the Ethereum ETFs. Boomers love their gap fills, right? And we got some really juicy ones up overhead. And we have just cleared up, as of recently. We've cleaned up this chart a little bit, but this is a pretty clear accumulation in my view. Right down in here. We're just kind of ranging. And I'll tell you, I think when you break out of this range to the upside, you're gonna be, I mean, this is such an important level up here too. It's been down only since the Ethereum ETF launched. You know?
This is what the Bitcoin ETF looked like too in the beginning.
Yeah, it did. Louis, do you have any charts for us?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you up there.
Yeah, well, here's Bitcoin, lower time frame, right? You've got a 6-hour chart pulled up here. Yeah, I mean, it's just been a nice trend and push higher here basically since Thursday, October 10th. So about, 11, 12 days of just up price action, barely any pullbacks. So, we've had this, the Discord, knows these levels because, they're constantly getting updates from me. This was a nice FEG internal liquidity we had that we made on this descent down back end of July, right? So that we fully filled, this last FEG from basically this whole rundown and all of this chop. We had tons of internal liquidity that we've been working on and backfilling on this way up. This was the final kind of, internal liquidity or fair value gap that we needed to fill. And I even told my guys, I was like, we're filling this gap. I was like, I don't know if we're going to run this high just yet, but the fact that, we ran this liquidity, you kind of have this, lower time frame, like 3 drive pattern, right? You try 3 times to make a new high, you make slightly higher highs. And then you kind of dump down the other way, and that's fine, right? Because we've had this run. So it's basically we fill this internal liquidity. But what I do like is that we didn't run this high yet. So this is still sitting here where we have a lot of external liquidity along with the other highs that we have stacked to the left of us, and we'll look at that in a little bit. But the fact that we came up all the way this high and left this high here untapped tells me that we're going to be coming back for that, which, if we had ran that high, maybe last night, right? If we came all the way up here, ran the high, then started trading below, that would have me worried about a larger correction to the downside, before continuing higher, right? But the fact that we left this external liquidity here, because there's billions of dollars of liquidity of short liquidations or stop losses starting at this level, 69.8 all the way to 72K. The fact that we left it and are pulling back here before it gives me a good feeling that we're likely going to come back for this sooner than later, and not see a total huge correction or a retrace of this move that we've seen over the last 12 days. So that's a great sign to me. But now this is fully filled. So let's take this off the chart. That is fully filled. We do have some liquidity below us, right? That weekly order block that Max was showing, that weekly level, is basically, anywhere from the 66K level, right, which is this local high here that we've now, got back above. So, that level starts at 66K. So we would like to see, obviously, we broke out. We have a market structure break. Let's come back. Let's flip it into support, resistance, flipped into support, and then continue on our merry way. Also, if that doesn't happen, right, if we start coming in here, start trading back below, we do have the lower end of that weekly level that Max showed earlier, which coincides with, my macro range, mid-range, as well as some liquidity. So another possible scenario, coming back below this high, back inside, fill some of this liquidity, retest some of this internal liquidity we made on the upside, and before continuing higher. So these are my 2 main scenarios I'm watching for at this point. My best bet right now, if I had to guess, is obviously the more bullish one. Of course, I'm a bull right now. Is just flipping this level into support and then continuing higher. But obviously, it's not always that simple. So we'll see when the time comes. Right now, we're getting some selling here. There's not too much volume on this move just yet. Compared to what we've been seeing, these are a volume down below. Right now, this is this little blip as far as volume goes. So it's not looking like what we saw back here on this pullback. So that's telling me this pullback, the bears don't have much juice just yet. So that's a good sign as well. So as of now, I'm watching this 66K level come in here, even if it comes down briefly for a short while, get back above, reclaim and go. But ultimately, we're eyeing this high to run, as well as the rest of the highs, up in that 71, 72, 73K level, which are more visible on a daily chart. So let's go to that. And you could see it way more clearly on this look where we have our bull flag on the daily, right?
Louis, do you
And
view us as having broken out already? Do you view this as we've broken out and we're retesting?
not as strong as I'd like, but like I was saying, we haven't ran these highs. Like the real fireworks happens when we see these highlighted highs I have here. The real fireworks comes when we start coming into these highs. And I have it pulled up on the BB terminal as well. I would have to unshare and reshare, but there's billions and billions of dollars of liquidation stacked right above where we kind of rolled over here on Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, technically, as far as the daily structure goes, yes, we have broken this local downtrend. But if you've been in the Discord, you know that 9 out of 10 times your initial break is going to get retraced, right? We see that time and time again in crypto where you get a breakout. Breakout traders will take the long, right? They oh, we're breaking this trend line. Let's take the long. And then the move gets fully retraced. You maybe do something like this, come back inside, and then you really go. And we see that time and time again on altcoins and crypto across the board lately. It's just a more volatile asset class where you get price action like that. So if we do something like this, that would coincide with the pullback I was talking about. We get our little dribble of a breakout, come back, and then go for the real move. But once we start coming into this green level, right, this green box is marked for a reason. That's because we have that billions of dollars of liquidity sitting here. Once we start coming up and start tagging these highs, it's going to be like a domino effect where this highs run at 70K. People are forced to close their short positions or getting liquidated, and that's going to cause that cascade effect, similar to how you see here, where longs were just getting wrecked, and like as long continue to close or people continue to get liquidated, these moves become steeper and steeper and steeper and happen quicker. Because it's forced closes or forced liquidations, which really can send price higher. So literally, we front ran that move, those liquidations, literally by like 1,000 or like not even $1,000 on Bitcoin. So, in my opinion, we are ready to take this. Once we are ready to start taking these highs, this move is going to happen super quick, and I think we're going to fly through this 70 to 72K level, and I think that's going to carry us to at least 80K, just from taking out all that liquidity that's been sitting there and stacked there for literally months, 6 or 7 months of what we've been doing here. And I want to pull up, if you don't mind, the terminal, just so you can see a visual of this. If you can pull me back up. Yeah, I guess.
What's going on?
But this is what I'm talking about. You see all this bright color here. That's all that liquidity I'm talking about, where this liquidity of shorts stacked at these highs, right? This is that high I was talking about. This is this high, the next level and the next level. And this is stacked all the way up to 72K here. So this is billions and billions of dollars worth of liquidity that once we start breaking the 70K level, it's going to be like a steamroll domino effect where bang, 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 it's going to cascade us, but this time it's going to be to the upside. So that's what I'm really waiting for. And the fact that we front ran that last night is healthy in my opinion. Let's gather our strength now. Let's pull back, flip some key levels into support, and then go for that massive move, which is going to happen pretty quick in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I said this morning on our Discord call. It's never really served me too well to trust a Monday pump or a Monday dump. And I feel like, if you just try to contextualize it, you can keep that up, Louis. I'm going to put up my chart here. This weekend we had this weird little Ethereum spike up. Someone opened up a giant perps long on ETH, 2650 or whatever. Spiked this up here just shy of 2800. We had a little bit of a CME gap, and now we've basically just come back and we filled this in. And looking at the higher time frames on ETH here, how I look at this is like going all the way back to our bear market, right? This green box was our bear market range high. It suppressed price for like almost 2 years. We break out of it. We come up. and we build this giant range, which we have since kind of broken down from, at least temporarily. Range low is up here, at 2850. Range high is just our 2024 high all the way up here. And you've got this nice little diagonal trend line as well. It's such a significant level because you've got your local supply, which is in red. So like your local range high. You've got your previous range low, and you've got this diagonal trend line as well, right? The normie diagonal. When you finally flip this level, put it in blue. When you flip this region right here, you're flipping and reclaiming your local supply, your normie diagonal, and your previous range low. It's such a big level on the chart. And I'll tell you, when price is up here, eventually, suddenly this goes from, oh, wow, we broke down from this range. Here's your range low. We've broken down to, oh, man, we have reclaimed this after putting in like the bear trap of all bear traps being anything below 2,800. And then things change really quickly. Then suddenly everybody's going to be like, I'm so bullish, ETH. Look at the reclaim, PO3, here comes the expansion, they're going to be drawing stuff like this. So things can change really, really quickly. And it's not that far off, in my view, from ETH moving up 300 points, give or take, and then just firing. Because once you get above this blue box, which again is your sort of convergence of all of these important levels all coming to a head at the same area, there's not a whole lot that's going to stop us from going higher and higher quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's gonna happen quick, and I think if you're not actively buying this pullback that we're literally getting on the weekly open, the Monday open, you're going to probably be chasing higher because like I was just referencing and how Max just referenced, like when this move does happen and we start breaking these structures that we're showing on the charts here, it's going to be quick. It's going to be very quick and swift, and people are going to turn around and be like, wait, what the heck? Like Bitcoin's at 75, 80K. Like what's going on? It was at 50 something K a couple weeks ago when I checked the chart. Like what the hell's going on? And then like they're scrambling with FOMO trying to, buy whatever's just trying to buy whatever just to get some exposure to the market. So and that's not how I would prefer doing business. I'd rather be comfy in my positions well before that happens and just bear the volatility until that move occurs, right? And that's what we've done over the past 6 months, right? Yeah, it has been volatile, it's been frustrating, but at the same time, like me, I'm sure Max, Jackus, a lot of our Discord members, like my portfolio hit an all-time high yesterday, right? And like Bitcoin has barely broken out yet. Like if you played it right and you were in your positions before we started seeing these moves, now you get to sit back and watch everyone else scramble, and you just get to enjoy the move, because when these moves happen, it's going to happen quick. These pullbacks aren't going to last as long as they used to. Like these consolidations, these pullbacks are going to happen quick. They're going to be volatile. We saw that on what was that, Tuesday? That pump and dump we saw on Bitcoin Tuesday, like a wild flash crash move, flash pump, flash dump, and then continue trend. Like they're gonna happen. It's gonna happen the whole time up, but they're gonna happen. They're gonna happen quick. So people think they have more time. They think, oh, I'll just short this down, short this back to range lows, reaccumulate, and then I'll be comfy in my positions. Like, nah, these pullbacks probably will last a day or 2 or 3. And then we're skyrocketing back to the upside. And you better make your decisions quick, or else you're going to be chasing once again. So, you definitely don't want to be in that position chasing, because that's when you make your silly decisions. You go, oh crap, like I missed the Bitcoin move, ETH moved. Let's see, let me go super small, super low cap beta. This might work, right? This is going to give me that 100x, and then you get rug pulled or something like that. And whether if you're just sitting in a good crypto, a good hold, before all this happened, you just get to sit back and watch your P&L just rise, without all the stress.
Yeah, I agree. And looking at Tether dominance here, I think everybody that watches Market Check should understand what this is by now, but I'll just put Bitcoin up down below just so that those that are unfamiliar can learn. right? Because if we're here, we might as well do it the right way. But here's Bitcoin down below and then Tether dominance up top. You can see how these charts are just inverse of each other, right? The implications of this are basically saying, look, if Tether dominance is going to move up, that means that people are selling Bitcoin into Tether, and Tether is gaining market share against Bitcoin. All right. When I look at Tether dominance right now, it looks like it's already broken down, and we're about to do something, we're about to do something like this, right? And I don't think you're going to get too much, deeper into these lows, send it higher. I guess it's possible you could kind of come back into this region right up in here, but I don't think you need to necessarily, right? This looks like a full-on breakdown. This was your breakdown right here for Tether dominance. Like, you broke down and you popped up, rejected from supply, broke down again, took out that low, and you're going to end up doing something like this, and then you'll move down, and then Bitcoin's going to do this. And it could happen very, very soon. It could happen very, very soon, in my opinion, right? You just want to see the structure remain constructive, right? And Tether dominance looks very, very heavy here, and it has a lot of supply above head. Similarly, of course, Bitcoin looks the opposite. A lot of demand below, right? A lot of demand below.
One thing that Louis mentioned and that I have to sign, and I've been victim to this myself and seen it over and over again, is the thing with over rotation, right? You ideally want to be diversified ahead of the bull market, and you don't want to be chasing, because the worst thing you can do is be all in on some coin, and then it doesn't matter actually what it is, and then it's very unlikely it will start going first, and you'll see something else popping, then you'll see something else popping, and you will just have an incredible need to sell your bag and chase what has pumped, and then what you bought will pump, and then you will try to chase something else, and you can end up in a very bad loop and end up losing money in a bull market, which I saw people do lots of times. It's not as easy to make money in a bull market as some can claim, because there are so many ways to fuck it up, whether that's what I just described or whether that's greed, where you will try to long your longs and then get liquidated through some liquidation spike. So totally signing it, Louis, and guys, be careful of that. And by the way, with dips like we see today, or the one we saw on Tuesday, right? These dips are totally normal in bull market. Nothing crazy. I was just discussing this today in the newsletter, that this is likely coming before the drop. So totally normal, totally normal. Don't fear it. Just like last Tuesday when we were discussing it live during the Tuesday week, you need to get used to these dips. If you are not, yeah, and again, like, this is another thing why bull markets are so hard to make money on, because people think it's okay. They look at history, they'll be like, I'll just hold. But it's different when you are watching the price live and it dips like this, right? And then to some degree, if you are holding BTC and you are crypto native, it's probably not much, right? Like, BTC dropped, what, 2% today? It's like, whatever. I don't even care. But for some trade FIFOs, that's a lot of money in a single day. But if you are holding some low cap meme, and then it pulls 30% in a day, even though it's likely to keep going up in the future, you might get scared and you'll sell at some point. So again, you need to find your risk profile because it's different for every one of us.
Yeah, and I mean alts obviously feel that pressure more, but at the end of the day, all we're trading is just Bitcoin. We've talked about this at length where it's like if Bitcoin pulls back 2%, ETH pulls back 3%, Sol pulls back 4%, you know, and then your poop coin goes back 8%, 9%, right? So it's like you just have to be comfortable with it, you know, with holding, and it's difficult to do, right? Which is why so many people mess up bull markets, like Jackus was saying, because you're like, oh, I don't care if it pulls back, and then it pulls back, and it's just like, oh man, that was big, right? That was a big pullback. But they're reflexive, right? The strong ones are reflexive. Like when Bitcoin finally moves back up, then your alts recover very, very quickly. And I just can't look at this chart right here. This is Tether dominance. Like I can't look at this chart. Would you? I wouldn't look at this and be like, yeah, it's, you know, this is like the best place to long, you know, like this is it, you know, this is it. We're going up here. I just wouldn't look at that. Like this looks like it's in trouble, truthfully. And then to flip it just for perspective, you know,
Yeah.
like I would look at this and just go, yeah, Tether dominance has broken out. We're maybe coming down here, maybe a little deeper retest, big maybe. But it looks fried, guys. It looks totally fried.
I think we need to stop, Max.
What's that?
I think we need to stop giving
Oh,
alpha.
no.
Oh no, Louis.
Soybean.
Soybeans were up today, this morning. I checked it out. Okay, it's on my watch list. 457
Disappointed.
people watching, 210 likes. That's less than half the people that are watching currently. That means you, yes, you listening right now. I'm talking to you. You likely didn't hit the like button. So let's just farm Max, Lewis, and Jackus for their free content. And I'm not even going to hit the like button. What's with that?
So here's
you,
the
a wise
soybean
guy?
chart, guys. We're gonna take it until we get the likes up. We're gonna take a nice high time frame approach to the soybean chart. As you can see, soybeans, it's a bad time to own soybeans. Okay,
Bad
it's a
time to be a soy
really,
boy.
really bad time to own soybeans. Really just a clean textbook breakdown here from soybeans, guys. We lost our value area low. We swept this low right here. We came back up. We retested the value area low of the soybeans, right? This is a great spot to offload your soybeans or hedge to the downside. And we are now downtrending pretty aggressively. I would say at this point, if you're holding soybeans, you know, you probably have this level to look forward to. So maybe another stab at the lows, and then we'll reassess. But yeah, guys, it's been a bad time to hold soybeans. It's been really bad. And you can see, I mean, we clearly broke down from our value, right? So now we need to figure out with soybeans, you know, maybe looking for a new range to form somewhere around here. You know, maybe somewhere around here. I could see that being a mid-range, and then you come down in the future, you know, maybe
Max,
do this.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you people are racing the deck screener right now, like soybean. Where is this? Looking for the ticker.
Ticker
Soybean.
soybean. Yeah.
Like this is not a meme coin. This is actual soybeans, guys. Like agricultural futures. Because you're
Yeah.
getting punished.
This is food, guys. This is food.
This is food.
This is food.
Fake food.
This is
Fake
food for soy people that don't press the like button.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, here's the thing. We need likes on the stream because the mega cap tech overlords determined a long time ago that the way that they evaluate content is based on the amount of engagement. I wish it wasn't so. I wish the supercomputers at Google and YouTube headquarters could look at our content and go, God, what?
This is what I think of the amount of like button.
Is that a
Aussie
real
ink.
picture, or is that like a Photoshop picture? Is that like a gas station?
Of course it's real.
It's real.
Of course it's real.
God.
What are we talking about?
It's just so much puke from the horse.
It's a
gonna
big
be
horse.
shorts.
I need a
Gonna be-
video. That's
And-
definitely a video. Can
and-
someone out there find me the video of that if it's real?
This is Max. This is very interesting because I was like, I was thinking of this and saw people talking about this and so forth. In the past, there was a saying, "What is written, that's real." Nowadays, or then it went, I need to see a picture of it because what's written doesn't matter. The picture is real. And nowadays we came to a point where people be like, all right, I'm not trusting that picture. I need a video. But let me tell you, that is not the end state, because the videos can now be AI generated too, and they are deep fakes. So we cannot trust the videos anymore either. So it went from text to pictures to videos not being trusted. And there is essentially
It's just you're like talking and this horse is like the bubbles moving like you're the horse.
just spitting out puke.
Jackus is actually a BB created AI trading bot, and we gave him a personality, and we made him check. So,
Guys, let's get to 300 likes.
Yeah.
We're getting real close. No one wants to look at this anymore. This is foul. This is foul. It's just so bad. Yeah, guys, if you could
We
just hit the
we
like
removed
button
that
already.
picture the moment the like button is where it should have been. Fuck, I hate this, man. Like, who made it, right?
Study
Like the
this
algo
horse.
this way.
study this. That's gonna be
Study the horse.
shorts.
But yeah, guys, here's the soybeans. All right, let's get the likes up. We need like 15 more likes. All right, I know there's like 150 of you out there who haven't liked it. If you're on Twitter, hit that retweet button, hit that like button, tell your grandma about it, share it, guys, share it. I got some great charts for you guys. So let's
That does cook.
let's get this show on the road, guys. Come on.
That does cook.
All right, 287. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But all right.
No.
No. He
No.
says no.
You've grown soft, Max. You've grown soft. We are tougher on the
Early
bottom.
on a Monday.
The moment. No, listen. It's like with a dog. The moment you keep lowering the bar, they'll just get used to it. You know.
See,
You cannot-
Jackus has no emotion because he's AI, so he doesn't have that.
Yeah, he has no empathy.
Yeah,
No.
And I have amputated leg.
And he's a horse. It's terrible.
Puking soybeans.
Yeah. Guys, 7 more likes. Come on. If there's 7 of you out there, who haven't liked it yet, be the heroes, guys. Don't ask what BB can do for you. Ask what you can do for BB, guys. That's it. That's all you have to do. Hit that like button.
That's simple.
We're 5 likes away, guys. This is painful. I don't know why it's taking so long today.
Painful.
You guys normally fly to 300 when we have issues. You fly to 300. Why is today so difficult? I know everybody's tired. All right.
I know why.
300. There we go. We're good. We're good.
Nice.
All right, guys. Listen. Here's your Bitcoin cycles chart. All right. We need to revisit this again. Okay. Bitcoin right now in the green with the 2016-17 cycle and then the last cycle. Halvings marked out with orange dots, presidential elections in red. We are right on track, guys. We are right on track with the previous 2 cycles, just hanging out in this tight little cluster. But look where we started to move up. Like, what a coincidence, right? What a coincidence that we started to move up right with the previous 2 cycles. So,
Matrix,
right? But this next phase of the cycle post-election is when things usually get pretty dang crazy pretty quickly, right? All the way through Q1, like the whole thing. So we are right on track, guys. We are right on track. This is my favorite chart. It's my favorite chart because it just puts it into like perspective. A lot of people they like to fade the cycles and they say, "Oh, it doesn't matter," but it seems to matter quite a bit, right? It'll be really interesting to continue to track this one throughout the cycle. But I mean, from now through Q1 should be overwhelmingly bullish, like without question. Without question.
Yeah, that just goes back to like if we just told you that, yeah, guys, every 4 years, Bitcoin's going to follow literally almost the same exact trajectory. 1.5 years of bull market, 2.5 years of a bear market, and all you got to do is just buy in the bear and sell in the bull, and it's totally cyclical. You'd think, oh wow, so many people must have made millions off doing this time and time again, and your answer would be no. They do not. Because they get caught up in the day to day price action and stuff like that, and they become their own worst enemies in these environments. Holding through a bull market is not as easy as it seems. If anything, it's harder, even for me. Like bear markets, like I feel like I thrive because like I'm just buying at discounts. And I'm able to withstand the volatility and chop. But when we start getting to bull market territory, where everything's in price discovery. I got nothing to go off on my chart. Kind of just basically got to feel it out and hit the be forced to hit the sell button when you need to. That's the real tough part. That's where people make the mistakes. And I made the same mistakes last cycle. That was when my first full crypto market cycle, 2021. Left a lot of money on the table, just being greedy, getting caught up in the moment, caught up in price predictions and round numbers, and you know did I make it out okay? Yeah, I definitely did. I definitely made it out better than most, but I still left a lot of money on the table just getting caught up in silly stuff like that. So that's what we're here to try to prevent you guys from doing. So
This Pepe price
Guys,
action is pretty wild, honestly. It is it's either the stair step up, elevator down brewing, or we are just pressuring the Cheeto in the door and we are about to fly up. But this is some of the most mechanical price action that I've ever seen on Pepe. Like looking at this where you pop up, you break out of the range, retest the point of origin. Pop up, reject, retest the point of origin. Pop up, retest the point of origin. Pop up, retest the point of origin. Pop up, currently retesting the point of origin. Right? It's just such it's like a twop that's going on right now. Or it's I mean, I don't think that this is it, but or it's stair step up, elevator down. But that would require ETH to break down, which I don't think is going to happen here. But just looking at this thing, we're just stuck at this H12 order block right here. I have it orange for the Cheeto in the door. But this to me really feels like it's about to pop. And I did put Andy up down here below because it's literally doing the same exact thing that Pepe's doing. It's literally just levered Pepe, which is so cool to see. It's literally the same exact chart. It's the exact same thing. Andy is literally doing what Pepe's doing. So, that's why I have up here. I have Pepe above here, and you've retired your entire bloodline by holding Andy and Wolf because of how the charts are moving. They're literally moving 1-to-1 together, right? So I just can't help but think like this pressure right here is going to resolve in just a meat stick to the downside, right? When we flip it like this, it looks pretty unreal, honestly. And the only way I would entertain anything bearish on this chart would be, of course, if ETH breaks down. Because like if we go back over here to, when Pepe really went crazy, here's ETH down below. You can see when Pepe started to go nuts, it was basically when ETH finally decided to start ripping above this previous consolidation high, right? Or when ETH finally like broke out of the bear market range. So I'm looking at this and I'm just like, okay, if I'm expecting ETH to move up, then I would expect this level to have a similar effect as this previous level over here in early, Q1 of 2024, where Pepe is going to break out when ETH finally gets back above, this local range high right here. That's it. Like ETH gets back above here, then Pepe is just going to go nuts again. It's really quite simple. So I feel like a lot of these meme coins and these beta plays, like a Pepe, are just, some of them are out in front a little bit of what ETH is doing and what Bitcoin is doing. But you can't fight fate. Like if ETH recovers here, there's not a scenario that I'm able to entertain at this point where premier ETH beta doesn't rip extremely hard. Man, Shine is who's this Shine guy, man? He's always so bearish. Every day he's just so bearish in the comments. He's calling for 40K.
Just totally ignoring everything we just talked about. Like people do that. They just come here just to fade us. Even in the Discord, we got some people that come in the Discord just to give their own analysis and just completely ignore everything that we say in there. That hasn't been going well for people.
They pay to send the bearish propaganda.
Yeah.
Jack, you got any charts for us?
Not today.
What do you mean not today?
Not today. But guys, something I wanted to discuss is this ever-growing gap between Trump and Kamala. It's currently 62.5% for Trump against 37.5%. That's getting out of hand. It keeps widening, like the wealth gap between the rich and the poor. Like the gap between bulls and bears nowadays.
Yeah. This morning Trump was at what, like 62% chance of winning? Is that correct? It's quite a bit.
It was at 60, no? And now it's at 62.5.
Let me see. Well, I know there were some theories as to Polymarket being inaccurate or something.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Someone was telling me that they're basically telling me that, here, I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see it. They were saying that some whales were like manipulating the Polymarket odds or something. But here are the odds as of right now. I just took this screenshot like right now. So this is up to date. But
so let's entertain that, Max, right? There's always an incentive behind an action. Every action has a reaction. So what would be their goal to manipulate this with that much volume? Like, it's not that you like manipulate it with 100K. You need hundreds of millions to manipulate. Yeah. Like there is more than a billion in it. So it's not easy. Like it's the basically, nearly the size of Bitcoin market cap at this point. It's not easy to manipulate it. Well, not the same, but
I mean, you can't trust polls either, right? So like, what do you trust?
No, I mean, what I was going to discuss is like what would be the benefit of these whales manipulating it?
Yeah,
like I don't see why. Like I feel it's just a huge scope, right? Like what would they gain to manipulate the odds?
Yeah,
because these people are rather like in denial, or they believe, Wall Street Journal polls that they do, the paid ones, to change bias. But no, when it comes to betting sites, or poly market, there is actual money involved. And these people, this is not just the talk, not just opinions. Like, people need to put their money where their mouth is, and that's not easy. So if there is something to be trusted on these, polls, or like the odds for winning, it's the betting sites, whether that's poly market or actual, sports betting sites.
I would agree. They should be more accurate because you're not just asking a question, you're literally putting millions of dollars, billions potentially, on the outcome of an event. So, I mean, I would think that, I don't know, unless they're trying to work it where, if you think about it like this, I imagine if Kamala wins, you're going to see crypto drop hard short term. It's actually not a bad hedge to like bet on Kamala winning on poly market, because the payout now with her down at sub 40%, substantial, right? So somehow you could create Kamala being this huge underdog and buy it as a hedge for her winning against your crypto bags. That's the only thing I could think of, right? Like, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put 100K on Kamala if you've got like a 200K portfolio in crypto or something like that. And if she wins, you're going to print like a, 1.5 RR or something like that. And if Trump wins, it doesn't matter if your bet goes to zero because your bags are going to pump.
Yeah. There's a comment from Kingfish. I agree, Jackies, but people still have to go and vote at the end of the day. Some people might view the betting chart and think there is no point voting. Vote odds, don't vote. That's true. That obviously, there will be some people that will do that, but I think it's going to be minority. And I really follow the money, right? That's where the truth is. And I heard even Stanley Druckenmiller say that he is not like favoring this, but it's clearly that the markets have decided, and he is just as well, going to believe the charts, because the charts are actually telling the truth. They are telling like where the value is and so forth. And Stanley Druckenmiller, once again, I'll remind, is the best performing portfolio manager in history, right? So he is also, and he is not like, I'll look at poly market. He's like, I look at crypto, I look at oil, I look at how stocks that are related to Trump are getting bid. I look at how stocks that are not related to Trump are getting sold, and it's all telling the truth. So and he was like, if you asked me 14 days ago, I would tell you it's even, but nowadays I think the markets have decided that Trump has won, basically. And I think we just do see that here. And if you actually listened to some, like, all right, listening to the interviews is obviously like, you can make good or bad assumptions from it, right? Just like the same thing you can do from news. And there will be people that will say, oh, this news is so bullish. And then there will be other people and say the exact same news is bearish or so. But the charts, again, are huge probabilities. They're sort of telling the truth, right? And that's what you want to focus on. But yeah, if you listened to like some of her interviews, it wasn't convincing. So I think that she was avoiding questions and so forth. Not, again, I'm not defending the other party or so. I'm just trying to say, like, why is this market thinking this? And I think these could be the reasons. But I don't think that the poly market is lying. Maybe offside a little bit. Maybe it might be, offside by, let's say, even 5%. But even if you delete 5%, which I think is a lot at this point, it's still a huge win. It's still a huge gap. It's still 57% to 43.
Yeah, it's substantial. It'll be really interesting. I mean, I know I don't know. I mean, look, historically it doesn't matter who wins the election, but I just can't help but think that like if Trump wins, Gary Gensler's gone. He's been pretty tough on
Yeah.
crypto since he's taken office. Um, and I feel like Trump is really leaning into crypto. Like he's even got his world financial whatever. I don't know exactly. I don't know much about it, but even if it's just for votes or making money, I don't really care, right? It doesn't matter his motivation. The fact that he's like, oh, the Democrats have been so tough and opposed to crypto for the entire Biden Harris administration. I'm just going to be the opposite. One, it's brilliant to gain votes, right? There's 50 million Americans, I believe, that own crypto. And those votes were just sitting there on the floor. Just someone needed to pick them up, and he did it. And I just can't help but think that we would get 4 years of really, really pro crypto, one, attention, legislation, and investments, right? Across the board. Like people would get the green light. They'd be like, yeah, we're good to go. Like Trump is not going to stand in our way. So I don't know. I just can't help but think we would get a huge pop if Trump won, honestly. But I know that on like the long term, it really doesn't matter too much, but it's hard not to think that. I'll say it's really hard not to think that.
Yeah, it's gonna speed up the process, in my opinion. There will be obviously people, and I often say this, and there is probably going to be lots of you. So, guys, listen. There is lots of people in the world who just believes blindly mainstream media. We call them NPCs. Obviously, that's where most people start, given how the world works. Then you usually start like noticing that something is off, right? Like it's not exactly how they say. Like you see them lying, and it's not like they always lie, but I'll get to that. But you simply stop believe them, and then you take the opposite side. And unfortunately, in our world, people have to take sides. If you're either dead or dead, nothing in between. So lots of people go and then choose the different side, right? So they're like everything against mainstream media. Like I believe every conspiracy theory, right? And they take the exact opposite side, and that's a first good step, because you need to like start studying, right? It's like when you discover something in trading and you're like, oh my god, technical analysis exists and it does work, and then you start like, you go through RSI and moving averages and order blocks, and you need to study all of that until you like be like something that you actually find that what's working, what's not working, and so forth. And that's the same thing with this, right? So people start with the belief of mainstream media, then they start believing every conspiracy theory, and then if you are that's the state you want to enter, is where you understand not everything that mainstream media says is a lie, but also not every uh, conspiracy theory is a false, right? Lots of them are right, but lots of them are wrong too. And what you essentially want to do is create your own world understanding, where you start comparing each other and just compare the information. And what I'm trying to say with this is that you essentially want to think for yourself, and you want to judge the information based on the information. Not everything is manipulated, not everything is corrupted, because that's how I feel lots of people are thinking in the market. They're like, everything is just manipulated by the whales, and it was always predestined to happen 40 years ago that this would happen. And it's like not like that, right? There is lots of stuff that's in a long-term plans of certain powers at B, but there is still lots of powers at B who fight each other. And what I'm trying to say is that there is also some part of randomness, luck into it, and things are moving. It's not all just predetermined. And again, you want to judge you don't want to be living. you also don't want to be honest, living in a state where like everything is predetermined, where everything is, done, where the whales just control your lives from the moment you are born to the moment you die. I don't think that's effective either. But anyways.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's a balance, right? It's definitely a balance, but it's a shame that
Balance.
it's a shame that we have to live in a world where you have to question some of this stuff, right? It's a shame that journalism has become so biased. It'd be really convenient and efficient to just have less gray area, right? So when you get a piece of information, you know that there's no agenda behind it. It's a difficult puzzle, but anyways, guys, that is actually it for today. All right, we are at our time limit, but guys, thanks so much for being here. Before you guys go, please consider liking and also subscribing to the channel if you are new here. We greatly appreciate your guys' continued support of what we are building here. And before you go, consider checking out the links in the description below. We got some awesome products that I will tell you about right now. If you check out the premium page, becausebitcoin.com/premium, it will take you to our website where you can basically sign up for our Discord plus the new BB terminal, guys. Actually, I'll show it to you right now. Hang on one second. I will show you right now. So if you go over to the website, you check out premium, guys, this is what you're going to see. Little bit of a sneak preview of the BB terminal. It's got everything you could ever need or want: portfolio tracking, derivatives data, heat maps, spaghetti charts, DCA indicators, hundreds of more indicators coming very soon. We are in beta right now, and you can sign up down here at the bottom for the BB terminal, plus the Telegram alerts channel that it comes with for $97. Again, it's heavily discounted because we are still in beta and still adding a ton of stuff, but it's awesome and you will love using it in its current state. You can pay with fiat or pay with crypto, guys. So just sending some ETH over. It's awesome. If you really want to level things up and take your trading and investing to the next level, guys, check out one of the other two packages over here. I would definitely recommend the gold, where we do over 3 hours per day of private live voice calls with me, Jackus Louie, and the entire BB team and community, guys. We talk about charts, setups, analysis, and plays, things that we don't talk about here on YouTube or on X, guys. You need your pack, you need your group, and we want to be that group for you for the remainder of this cycle. This market is simply too big to navigate alone, and you need to surround yourself with people that you can trust, people that have a proven track record in the space. And if we're not those guys for you, then that's okay. But find your group, find your pack of guys, all right, and roll with them, guys you can lean on, all right? And I think we have something really special here at BB, so definitely consider trying that out. And again, you can pay with fiat or with crypto. There's no group like it. Okay, there's no group like it. Just because you've been in another paid Discord before, don't let that, that's like saying, oh, your ex cheated on you, therefore, everyone will do the same. This is not like that. We just use Discord because it's really convenient and easy. It's much different, right? And again, within the Discord, you get a free BB terminal subscription included in your membership. So you get to see how I'm positioning, how Jackus is positioning, how Louie's positioning. We share everything. So again, surround yourself with the right people. We believe we are those people for you. If none of that sounds good, check out the BB Academy, guys. We got 2 options. Well, I guess technically 3. If you want to learn how to chart, make your charts look beautiful, I made this free intro to trading view. You got to get your charts looking pretty, guys. It's an absolute must. You got to figure out how to manipulate the data to make it easier to understand. This stuff is very difficult. Start there if you don't know how to use TradingView yet. Absolutely 100% free. But if you really want to expedite your journey towards understanding these markets, guys, check out this middle one over here. It's expensive, but it is absolutely worth it. If you love Market Check and you love the analysis and the education that comes along with this daily show, you will love the BB Academy right here, guys. You can watch this funny little video of me. But you will learn everything you need in order to understand these markets from a technical and a fundamental perspective. We spent about 6 months building this thing out. A lot of people out there like us teaching TA for free, but there's a big difference between something that we create that is paid and something that's free. So one-time fee, lifetime access, speed run your educational journey. Here it is for you guys. And if none of that sounds good and you're like, hey, these guys are awesome, boy, I know they kill it in these markets. I wish they could trade for me. I just don't have, the time. Well, guess what? We are also an SEC registered hedge fund called BB Wealth Management. The link below will take you to our Twitter, to BB Wealth Management, where you can fill out a contact form and set up a meeting with us where we will happily discuss and share all details with you about operations. So it's a good way to either diversify your existing holdings by buying into this fund, or you're like, hey, I got crypto, but I don't have time to manage it. There's too many plays, too many things to look at. We can actually do that for you. It took us probably about half a year to get this thing actually set up. So really happy that we are launched. We're taking on a lot of money, and it's been going very, very well so far. So again, consider that as a nice diversification option for you. BB Wealth Management down below. But guys, thanks so much for being here. Greatly appreciate the support. And if none of that is for you, if you don't want anything to do with the terminal, and you don't want the terminal plus Discord, and you don't want the Academy, and you don't want BB Wealth Management, we still love you. And we just ask, hey, keep showing up every single day and hit that like button. And also subscribe if you're new to the channel. But guys, thanks so much for being here. Happy Monday, another new week. We will see you guys tomorrow for a fresh episode of Market Check. Everybody have a great week. Stay safe and take care.
That was just a beautiful outro, I gotta say.